What's up, guys? Wade Willis here for my playthrough of Umineko. I'm in Chapter 4, and this is Part 4 of this. And Ainge is playing like a huge role now. It seems like someone in my comments, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Josh, I believe. Kind of mentioned how like in Higurashi, we think that Keiichi is the main character, and then we kind of have Rika. And honestly, that's like kind of the vibe I was getting, is that Battler was the main person, and then now it seems like Ainge is actually a way bigger character than I previously would have even expected, and she barely got introduced at the end of the last chapter, so it's interesting how big of a role she's playing right now, and she does have a unique perspective compared to Battler, who was, killed during this, is kind of stuck in this loop, whereas her consciousness went to the future. Now she's going back, whatever. But yeah, guys, it's getting really interesting. Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes from here. And yeah, guys, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do, for tons of When They Cry content. I'm covering Higurashi Sotes in detail. I know I've been talking about this for a while, but I am going to be doing arc reviews of the original Higurashi as well. So just for those of you who want kind of like a refresher as we're going through Higurashi Sotes, I'm going to have that kind of a review on those original Higurashi arcs, and probably get into Kai as well as kind of a refresher for some people as we're going through Sotes. Forcefully opening the door with a clunk, Rosa flew in with Maria.
Genji-sanか誰かいない？誰でもいいの。バスタオルを持ってきて。
There was already a flowable typhoon outside, and it was starting to pour down hard. Even though she had an umbrella, Maria had been in the rose garden amid all that wind and rain the whole time. She had grown ice cold. Maria had gotten into a minor fight with Rosa in the rose garden and had been told to stay there. She had done as she was told and continued to wait in that spot, even though the rain was pouring down. Rosa certainly had gotten a little emotional and angry, but Maria's stubbornness, a stubborn whim, was probably more to blame. The cousins, who had seen that exchange, were relieved to see that mother and child were close to each other again. Rosa scrubbed Maria's head with a towel. She seemed overcome with worry that Maria had caught a cold, but Maria herself was nonchalant.
大丈夫？寒気とかしない？
You don't catch a cold that quickly.
やっぱり一度戻って着替えさせた方がいいかしら。
What? That is a thing that's so interesting, like the kind of in fiction and even like stories, they act like you're gonna get a cold just from going outside when it's raining. Like, you can get pneumonia, but a cold 30 minutes after you go outside in the rain is not going to happen unless you already had it and your immune system drops down from being in the cold.
全然平気。それよりお腹空いたから着替えよりご飯がいい。
大丈夫そうだぜ、ローザおばさん。こんだけ元気ならきっと大丈夫だよ。
傘があって本当に良かったよ。ひょっとしたらずぶ濡れかもしれないと思ってたからね。傘を持ってたのは不幸中の幸いだったよ。
でもよ、マリア。いくら傘があってもこんな大雨になったらちゃんと雨宿りしなきゃダメだぜ。女の子は体を冷やしちゃ絶対にいけない。
いいのよ、ジェシカちゃん。ママがそこにずっといなさいと言ったのが悪いの。
Yeah, this is different than Rosa normally acts.
本当にごめんね。本当にごめんね。
マリアいい子。ママの言う通りにしてたからいい子。
I wouldn't go that far.
寒くてもずっといた。ママが来るまでずっといた。
マリアは本当にいい子よ。ママの言いつけをちゃんと守ったわね。本当に偉いわ。でも、次からはママの言いつけであっても、 あんな大雨になったらちゃんと雨宿りをするのよ。いいわね。ママと約束よ。
ママと約束。
As Rosa gently held Maria, they joined their pinkies together and promised. Battler and the others realized that by touching her mother's pinky, the warmth had started to return to Maria's body.
カノンくん、タオルをありがとう。助かったわ。
それでは失礼いたします。
As Cannon bowed with a blank expression, as though he'd done nothing that required gratitude, he left the parlor.
さあ、もうお夕飯よ。みんなも行きましょう。偉いマリアには、後でママの分のデザートも分けてあげるわ。
本当ママ。デザートもらえる。ママ大好き、ママ大好き。
こらマリア、はしゃがないの。ママもマリアが大好きよ。
Yeah, when they're like this, they're actually like
マリア
pretty
大
cute
好き。
together.
マリア大好き。
As opposed to Maria screaming bloody murder and Rosa beating her.
マリアもママ大好き、ママ大好き。
Well, this is going too well. They might be the first ones to die.
うーうーうーうー。
I can't believe Rosa's actually doing that. Rosa and Maria looked really close. Even the cousins who watched started to feel a long-forgotten warmth fill in their chests.
このくらいの年頃が、親と一番仲がいいのかもしれねえな。
うちはそうでもなかったぜ。母さんとか、いっつも勉強勉強とうるさかったな。
Sounds about right.
子供を愛していればこそだよ。親の愛は、優しさや甘やかしだけじゃないんだよ。僕の母さんも厳しかったけど、僕を大事に思ってくれたからこそだって、
Yeah.
今ならわかるよ。
Mine was super strict.
ママ大好き、ママ大好き。
マリア大好き。マリア大好き。
Anytime for like Higurashi or
さあ、食事に行きましょう。
Umineko, something's going like this, I always assume someone's about to get their
お
head
手手
chopped
つ
off
な
or
いで仲
something.
良くね。
お手手つないで仲良く。
This is
マ
weirding
マ
me
とマリア、仲
out.
良し仲良し。
そうよ。ママとマリアは仲良しよ。いつまでもずーっとね。
Definitely not.
愛してるわ。マリア。
なんだよ、突然。どうした？
The sudden sound had come from the teacup Gretel had been holding, which had fallen and smashed.
ごめんなさい。ぼんやりしてたわ。落としちゃってごめんなさい。
The cup on the floor had smashed to pieces. Would it really have made such a sound and smashed to pieces just by being dropped at that height? Even someone as thick-headed as Battler could realize that she was in a bad mood over something, but he couldn't understand why she had suddenly grown so displeased. When she made to bend over and pick up the fragments of the cup, Ronov appeared out of nowhere and stopped her.
お怪我をなさいますよ。お片付けは私どもにお任せを。紅茶のおかわりをお持ちしましょうか。
いらないわ。どうも悪魔の紅茶は口に合わないみたい。
ほう、ロノウェの紅茶でも口に合わぬ者がおったとは。そなたの肥えた舌には敬意を表するぞ。
退屈してきたんで、ちょっと席を外すわ。
退屈？おいおい、いよいよこれからだろうが。多分、この時点でマリアはまた、
Definitely not
傘
this
と手
time.
紙をベアトリーチから受け取ってるって言い出すんだぜ。ここからが重要だってのに。
失礼するわ。ごめんなさいね。後片付けをお願い。
お任せを。
Without saying anything else, Gretel disappeared of her own accord. Her Form literally melted and disappeared into thin air. There was definitely a displeased expression on her face, but neither Battler nor Ronov, and of course not Beto either, could understand why her mood had suddenly worsened. All that remained was the scent of black tea she spilled. What in the hell? I don't like it. No, to be more blunt, it disgusts me.
なんでエンジェはイラついてるの？
なんでって、決まってるでしょ？
マリアにはわからないよ。
Even Maria, with that blank expression on her face, irritated me. As I held my palms up to the empty air, from out of nowhere, a single book landed on them. It was Maria's diary. Even though I didn't turn the pages were flipped through, despite there being no wind. And the door to Maria's world opened.
どうしてエンジェはマリアが幸せじゃないと思うの？
客観的に判断してよ。
客観的にエンジェの主観でだね。
真実は私にとってのものとマリアお姉ちゃんにとってのものとでは異なると言いたいの？
真実は観測者によって形を変えるよ。
I do like that
そ
they're
して
doing this.
未来の観測者が常にその形状を上書きする。エンジェはマリアの幸せをどうしたいの？
The pages of the diary were flipped through at a greater and greater speeds. Then, a brilliant light poured out from the depths of the diary, swelling everything up and painting over everything with white.
Maria. ママね、緊急に片付けなきゃならない仕事が山積みで、ちょっと会社に缶詰にならなきゃならないの。多分、あさっての深夜まで家に帰れないわ。
おー、じゃあ日曜日の一緒に映画を見に行く約束は？
映画？
Judging by Rosa's tone, she had clearly forgotten that promise, but Maria's response to that was an apology for asking. I'm sorry. Maria apologized for troubling her mother by asking that question.
マリア、お留守番してる。ちゃんとお行儀よく待ってる。毎日お風呂に入って新しい肌着にするよ。お金の場所もわかってる。毎日違うお店に行くようにする。あんまり遅い時間に出かけないようにする。おまわりさんに聞かれたら、ママのお使いですって言うようにする。ちゃんとママに言われた通りに言うようにする。
そうね。ちゃんといい子にしてるのよ。そしたらお土産を買ってきてあげるわ。いい？夜は9時までに寝るのよ。
Dang, 9?
ママが帰ってこないなんて先生にも大人にも言っちゃダメよ。いいわね。
うん。だからママ、お仕事
Yeah, she's
頑
what,
張
like
って
10 years
ね。
old at this time and doesn't have like a butler
頑
or
張って
anything?
お仕事を終わらせて、少しでも早く帰ってきてね。マリア、もう夜中に泣いて近所の人に迷惑なんかかけたりしないから。だから、早く帰ってきてね。
じゃ、忙しいので切るわよ。いい子にして待ってるのよ。余計なことはしちゃダメよ。じゃあね。
With a tone of finality in her voice, Rosa hung up the phone without waiting for Maria's answer. Maria politely set down the receiver and returned to the sofa. There sat the stuffed animal Sakutaro, with whom she'd been watching TV until a second ago. Sakutaro was holding the remote control to the TV. The TV had been turned off because of the phone call. He looked like he was telling her to push the switch because he wanted to watch TV again quickly.
サク太郎、テレビ見たい？おりゅ？ リアはもう見たくないの？芸人チーム全問正解したら逆転かもしれない。もうテレビいいや。
Again, Mom was busy with her work and didn't come home. Mama works so much overtime that she doesn't come home until late. Because she has dates or something, she always comes home after drinking a lot of alcohol, even though she's not good at drinking. And with a pale face, she'll go straight into the shower and then to bed. And because she has overtime even on the weekends or something, she has to spend the night there, and almost never comes home. Recently, she started saying something about how she's got a big job she's working on, and this sort of thing happens a lot. The pictures I did my best on during drawing time were laughed at by everyone. But even so, I wanted to show them just to Mama, and once again, she won't be able to look at them for me. And I couldn't talk about the time everyone pushed the job of cleaning up onto me, but I did my best by myself and was praised by the teacher. Or the time I went shopping and the man at the shop said, "I'm always such a good kid," and gave me a free canned coffee. Then there was a time I wanted to encourage Mama because she worked so hard on her job, and I hid a card for her under her pillow.
他にもいっぱいお話ししたかった。
That's tough for a little
マ
kid.
マはお仕事をいっぱい頑張ってくれてるんだよ。毎日のご飯のために一生懸命働いてくれてるんだよ。お仕事。やだ、ママ。お仕事なんかやめちゃえ。お仕事は大人の大切な仕事なんだよ。マリアにご飯を食べさせて、お洋服を買って、学校の給食費を払って、サマーキャンプの積立金を払って、それはみんなママが働いてお金を稼いでくれるからなんだよ。
You would think she would be able to get another job that makes enough for them to get by and not have to
ご
work
飯
as
いらな
much.
い。お洋服もいらない。給食もいらないし、サマーキャンプなんか行きたくない。どうせマリアをどこの班も混ぜてくれないもん。ウリュウ。ママはさっき電話でお仕事から帰ってきたらお土産を買ってきてくれるって約束してくれたよ。ママはマリアのことが大事で寂しくさせてることを申し訳ないと思ってるから、そういう約束をしてくれたんだと思うよ。そうかな。ウリュウ。めんどくさかったり嫌だったりしたらそんなことはしないもん。ママだってマリアのそばにいつだっていたいんだよ。それができなくてママも辛くて悲しい。ママが泣きながらずっとマリアの隣にいて夜を過ごしてくれた日を僕は覚えてなんでママが泣いてるのかわからなかったけど、ただマリアは黙ってママのそばにいることしかできなかった。あの時最後にママが言ったの僕は覚えてるよ。マリアにありがとうって言った。ただそばにいてくれるだけでマリアだけが世界でただ一人の味方なんだよって。ウリュウ、覚えてる？うん。マリアが世界でただ一人の味方なんだよってママ言った。
Sakutaro set the remote control on the table and crawled up into the sofa, sat on my lap and spoke to me, gazing into
マ
my
マも
eyes.
きっとマリアと同じなんだよ。ママの描いたデザインだけがクライアントに笑われて、ママの会社だけが他の会社から面倒な仕事を押し付けられて、ママは社長だから自分一人で片付けなくちゃならなくて、ママの会社だけがいつも他の会社の仕事に混ぜてもらえない。ママの味方はマリアだけなんだよ。そのマリアがママにお仕事なんかやめちゃえなんて言ったら、ママの味方は、サク太郎。僕には世界中でただ一人マリアがいる。ママには 世界中でただ一人、マリアがいる。マリアにはママもいるし、サクタロウもいる。だからマリアは寂しくなんかない。うりゅう。おー。ママはお仕事が忙しいから、なかなかマリアと一緒にいられないけど、マリアはどうかそれを責めないで。その代わり、僕はいつも一緒に、そしていつまでも一緒にマリアのそばにいるから。うりゅう。僕が一緒じゃ、悲しみを止められない？
See, now, I don't... He was never shown in any of the other episodes, so I feel like she's going to lose Sakutaro. From the corner of Maria's heart, which she had been doing her best to seal up, drops of sadness finally dripped down. Drip, drip. Drop, drop. Drip, drop, drip, drop. Even though weekends when Maria didn't come home, when Mama didn't come home, weren't that rare a thing, it wasn't as though that night was particularly painful or sad compared to other nights. And yet, Maria's tears poured down.
ウリュウ、マリア泣かないで。僕がずっと一緒にいるから。マリアが泣いても僕は泣かない。僕はライオンの子だから寂しくても泣かないよ。僕だって泣きたいけど、僕は泣かないんだもん。どうしてサクタロウは泣かない？こんなに寂しくて涙がこらえられなくても泣かないの？ウリュウ、だって僕が泣いたら誰がマリアを慰めるの？
Fair point.
だから僕は泣かないよ。だってマリアに元気を出してもらいたいから。元気を出したらママは帰ってくるの？
Definitely not.
ママが帰ってきた時、元気なマリアで迎えてあげたら、ママはきっと喜ぶと思うな。ウリュウ、ママは喜ぶ？ウリュウ、そしたらきっとお仕事の疲れもきっと癒されると思うよ。そしたらきっといつもより早く元気になってくれて、マリアともいっぱい遊んでくれると思うな。マリアがママの待ってるお家へ帰ってきた時、ママが上機嫌で台所にいたらすごく幸せな気持ちになるでしょ？ママもきっと同じだよ。マリアがご機嫌でお留守番してたら、ママも幸せになるかな。うりゅう。
Sakutaro nodded deeply with his big head. The tears couldn't keep falling from Maria's eyes. If she greeted Mama with a tear-stained face, Mama probably would get sad too.
マリアは知ってるよ。笑顔を呼ぶ魔法は自分も笑わなきゃできないってこと。マリアは知ってるよ。だからもう泣かない。ねえマリア、僕から楽しく過ごす提案があるよ。ウリュウ、聞いてくれる？何？ママが日曜日の深夜まで帰ってこないから。
Uh-oh, I feel like this is gonna be bad.
だからママに内緒のパジャマパーティーをして遊ぼうよ。
I thought there was gonna be something horrible.
パジャマパーティー？今夜は眠くなるまでベッドの中でお菓子を食べたりジュースを飲んだりしながら僕と遊ぶの。パジャマパーティー？楽しそう。9時に寝なくていいの？寝ないとママに怒られない？ママがいない時だけの僕とマリアの秘密。だから今夜はマリアが眠くなるまでずっと僕たちで楽しく過ごそう。ジェリービーンズを食べながら次は何の色を引くか当てっこして遊ぼう。ピーナッツを割ってどっちがおじいさんか当てて遊ぼう。
What?
クローゼットの中を宝探ししよう。
Which half is a
他にも
grandpa?
他にも。 オレンジジュースとメロンジュースを合わせたらどんな味になるかな。おー、いっぺんやってみたかったけど、ママにやっていいって聞いたらダメって怒られた。
Probably disgusting.
ブリュー、ママに内緒で実験してみよう。今夜はいっぱい遊んで、いっぱい笑って、涙を元気で吹き飛ばしちゃおう。大丈夫、僕と一緒だから絶対に楽しいよ。僕が絶対にマリアを幸せにしてあげるから。
Something about the Sakutaro thing doing.
サキタロと一緒なら絶対に楽しいよ。
Feel
絶
very
対に幸せになれるよ。
uneasy about this.
ありがとう、サキタロ。
Like, he's there for her, but at the same time, he's getting her to break the rules, and I feel like this could be a slippery slope
もう泣かないね。
if he doesn't have the best intentions.
とびきり楽しく二人で過ごして、思いっきり元気になって、ママをお帰りなさいって迎えちゃおう。うりゅー、今夜はいっぱい遊んで、いっぱいご機嫌になっちゃおう。ママがいない夜にしか遊べない秘密のパーティーでいっぱい遊ぼう。僕たちが賑やかにしてたら、きっと鏡の国や不思議の国からたくさんの友達が遊びに来るよ。そしたらもう僕たちはお友達でいっぱいで退屈なんかできなくなっちゃう。うりゅー。
Hmm.
うりゅー。
I feel like witches are going to show up. Then Maria began her pajama party all alone with Sakutaro, having fun until the night. She played by sticking her hand into a bag of jelly beans without looking and trying to guess which color she'd pull out next. Sakutaro had good intuition and got it right a lot. Maria also had a brilliant streak, which she guessed 4 times in a row. The game where she split peanuts open to try to guess which was the grandpa was easier than guessing the color of the jelly beans, so she got it right a lot. Sucking the salt-covered fingers was impolite, but that was just the yummiest part. She liked both cola and melon soda on their own. She hoped by mixing their 2 favorite drinks that they might be a flash of light like alchemy, and a new drink that no one had ever tasted before would be created. She got excited about how if it turned out really delicious, she'd call it Sakutaro soda and sell it. But unexpectedly it had a weird taste that she hadn't hoped for. Yeah, I could have told you that. And the color was somewhat dull and thick. Maybe I shouldn't have been surprised that black and green mixed together would make like this. Too bad, I imagined it becoming a sparkling pineapple color. But it was an awesome, incredible, fun night. If it's this fun here, maybe Mama will feel like coming home and drop by out of the blue. So I got the feeling that Mama might suddenly come home and went to the front door many times to check, but there was no way Mom would be able to come home when she was this busy with work. But rather than feeling of loneliness, it felt just a little disappointing that Mama couldn't join in on the fun late night party. Sometime soon, I'll do this when Mama is around and let her join in. Mama likes some things I don't think are yummy, so maybe she'll really like Sakutaro soda. When Mama comes back tired, I'll serve her some. Oh, that'll wake her up because she's going to throw up. And more than anything, I want to at least write about this fun night in a letter and tell Mama about it, so that these feelings of happiness will reach Mama too. Her work is always so tough and she comes home so tired, so I hope I can share this happiness with her. Mama will almost certainly come home tired late Sunday night, and I hope I can brighten her day even just a little by sharing this happiness. I gently placed that letter on Mama's desk. To Mama, good job with your work again today. Let me share my happiness with you. From Maria. Then I decided to give a present to Sakutaro by proposing this wonderful party. It was a small red muffler I found when searching for treasure in the closet. When I was still very young, Mama knitted me this tiny thing. Maria was embroidered on it with a knitting wool. I softly wrapped that muffler around Sakutaro. It really suited him, accentuating his yellow with the red very well.
ウリュウ、似合う？
Muffler. Sakutaro looked embarrassed as he wore his first present ever. Yeah, it really looks good on him.
サクタロ、いつも本当にありがとう。こんなにも楽しい夜になったよ。どうしてマリアは泣いてたのか、もう思い出せないくらい。これからも一緒にいようね。そしていつも楽しく遊んで笑っていようね。ウリュウ、マリア大好き。マリアもだよ。サクタロ大好き。
After playing so widely, Maria's room was a mess. Maybe she played a little too much. But I'm tired for today, so let's sleep together. And tomorrow we'll clean up together and welcome Mama with a clean room. Alright, Sakutaro? Who do you?
ね、マリアは、マリアとサクタロはこんなにも幸せだよ。
これが、マリアお姉ちゃんの幸せなの？
うん、マリアは幸せ。
ローザおばさんは、あんなにも楽しみにして、絶対だよと約束した映画の約束を完全に忘れてた。
お仕事で忙しかったから、たまたま忘れちゃったんだよ。仮に覚えてたとしても、お仕事じゃどうしようもない。覚えてても覚えてなくても、どちらにせよ、ママはお仕事でお泊まり。映画には行けなかった。約束を覚えてたかどうかなんて、些細な問題だよ。
She's very forgiving. There's no way that's a minor issue. After all, when Aunt Rosa answered movie on the phone, it was obvious that she completely forgot her promise. And when she heard that, Maria's mood definitely darkened.
確かに、マリアお姉ちゃんの言う通り、ローザおばさんが約束を覚えていたとしても、結局映画には行けなかった。でも、それでも、お母さんとのささやかな休日を過ごす約束を一方的に忘れられていたなんて、悲しい。私なら怒る。
悲しかったよ。たとえ覚えててくれたとしても、映画には行けなかったわけだから。でも、私はその後、サクタロととても楽しく夜を過ごした。エンジェもパジャマパーティーがすっごく楽しそうだって思ったはず。
楽しいわけなんかない。だって、この夜のマリアお姉ちゃんのはしゃぎぶりは、お母さんが帰ってこなくて寂しくて、それを忘れるために、わざと空騒ぎをしただけじゃない。
Well, yeah, that's true, but she still had fun.
違うよ。サクタロと本当に楽しくパーティーをしたんだよ。
いいえ、違う。
You can't tell
お
someone how
姉
Oh,
they
ちゃんは
felt.
悲しくて約束を忘れてたお母さんが憎くて部屋で暴れただけじゃない。
そんなこと、マリアの日記のどこに書いてあったの？
書いてはいない。でも、この一行飛ばしで書いてある行間から、お姉ちゃんの気持ちがわかるの。お姉ちゃんは、この夜を楽しくなんか過ごさなかった。それで、言いつけを破って夜更かしをし、おやつの時間以外には食べてはいけないと厳しく言われていたルールを破ってお菓子を食べ、それでも悲しみが埋められなくて、部屋の中で暴れて、散らかしただけじゃない。
This really shows the eye of the beholder thing. Like, everyone interprets things differently. Like you said, there's no such a real truth. It's the truth is who's reading whatever happened or witness what happened, like, and how they interpret the
そし
truth.
て部屋中を散らかして疲れ切って、そのままベッドのシーツをかきむしりながら泣き疲れて眠っただけ。
日記には確かに、ママが映画の約束を忘れてたらしいこと。そして、私が夜更かしをしてサクタロとパジャマパーティーをして、宝探しで部屋を散らかしてしまったと書かれてるね。
ええ。それはつまり、そういうことじゃない。マリアお姉ちゃんは、 ローザおばさんの愛に飢えていた。そしてローザおばさんは自分の仕事や世間体ばかりを優先して、いつもお姉ちゃんを後回しにしていた。だから虫唾が走るのよ。ローザおばさんのお姉ちゃんのことを愛しているという言葉がどれほど上辺だけのものか知っている。お姉ちゃんだって知ってるはず。
We haven't really seen everything from Aunt Rose's perspective, so I don't know how. I mean, she needs all that money really bad, so I feel like things at work are pretty bad. If we found out she was just gone to like hook up with dudes, then I would agree with Ange's
なのに、
thing.
なんで自分は幸せだなんて言えるの？マリアお姉ちゃんのそのあたりが私にはわからない。この年になってもさっぱり理解できない。どうして悲しくないの？どうして不幸な現実を知りながら自分は幸せだなんて言えるの？私にはできない。わからない。
エンジは悲しい子だね。
It's true.
わけわかんない。どうして私が哀れまれなければならないの？
私の日記にはこんなにも楽しくパジャマパーティーの事実が記されているのに、同じ事実も異なる人間が観測すると異なる姿になってしまうんだね。
I remember talking about something like this with Bern Castell. Truth is unfixed and changes its form every time it's witnessed. By the way it's perceived, in other words, depending on the person who perceives it, a single truth becomes several different truths. And truths of the past are painted over by truths of the future.
マリアはこの日記でこの夜の出来事をとても楽しかったと記した。
マリアお姉ちゃんはこの夜の出来事をとても幸せだったと記述した。
なのに日記を読んだエンジェはこの夜の出来事をとても悲しかったと読んだ。
マリアお姉ちゃんは幸せだと記述したのに、私はそうではないと読み解いた。
You assumed it wasn't
やめて。
true.
これは幸せな夜を記したものなの。これがこの夜の真実。お願いだからその幸せな真実を新しい、そして異なった真実で塗りつぶさないで。
マリアお姉ちゃんにはこれで幸せなの？
うん、幸せ。だから同じ境遇の時、幸せに感じられないエンジェがかわいそう。
Right now, I'm like she was then, just as isolated with no friends. Ange had accepted her isolated reality for what it was, but Maria painted over her isolated reality with a reality of happiness. Ushiromi Maria took a sad truth and changed it into happiness. That was the only and yet very large difference between me and Maria. And even though I'm unable to accept it, I'm also jealous of that power. That is a strong power.
そうなの。それは力なの。その力があるマリアは幸せになれて、その力がないエンジェは幸せになれない。
その力は何なの？
マリアもその力を何と呼ぶかわからなかった。この時点ではね。やがてその正体を教えてもらうの。後に話すよ。後のページで。そして日曜日の深夜、ママは約束通りお土産を持って帰ってきた。
ただいま。
ママ、おかえりー。ママ帰ってきた。ママ帰ってきた。
Waiting to greet Rosa as she returned home, all tired out, was Maria, in an unbelievably good mood, holding Sakutaro. Most likely, Rosa's worn-out expression was partly because she really was tired, but partly because it would be a pain when Maria, who should have been grumbling after staying home alone for several days, would cling to her sobbing. However, when she was welcomed by an unbelievably happy Maria and found that her fears were unbelievably needless, Rosa couldn't hide her surprise.
どうしたのマリア。とてもご機嫌ね。誰か来ているの？
It was strange enough to make Rosa think that a friend had come over and that she'd come home right when they were having a good time playing together. But there were no other shoes by the entrance. Even though Maria was in such high spirits, she had been home alone. At first, Rosa was suspicious that the cause of this unexpected good mood could be nothing good. But that really was a needless fear, and in any event, Maria really had been in a good mood when she watched over the house. Even if Rosa's heart had been as cold as and hard as a rock after being welcomed with a smile like this, Rosa started to honestly accept that smile, and smile rose to her own face automatically. In that smile, you could no longer see any of the weariness of someone who had been unable to return home for several days. Maria kept talking about what a fun time she had playing with her stuffed animal Sakutaro. Rosa hadn't imagined that a stuffed animal by herself had given would be so appreciated, and she couldn't hide her pleased surprise.
そう。サク太郎と一緒に仲良くお留守番していたのね。偉いわマリア。そんな偉いマリアとサク太郎にお土産があるわよ。
お土産お土産
Both Maria and Sakutaro started jumping around. There were two presents. One contained an assortment of Western sweets. Inside was a Scotch cake. It looked to be of very high quality, but Maria was more interested in the other one. The one in even a bigger box that was pretty heavy.
開けてごらん。マリアとサク太郎の新しいお友達になれるかもね。
何これ
Inside, laid there like a chess piece, were 20 small ceramic figures shaped like animals. Squirrels, rabbits, small birds, dogs, and cats, and they were all holding musical instruments. In addition to them was also a panorama-style background. A forest scene was drawn on it. The small forest animals were gathered in a plaza and looked like they were having a good time. Rosa set it up on the table, and when she then lined up the ceramic figures like chess pieces in front of it, it became a band of forest animals.
素敵でしょ？お店のショーウィンドウで見て一目惚れしちゃったの。これをいい子でお留守番してたマリアにプレゼントするわ。
ありがとうママ。すごいねサク太郎。お友達がこんなに増えちゃったね。サク太郎の言う通りだった。楽しく賑やかに過ごしてたらお友達が増えちゃうって本当だった。
That is true.
ね、言った通りでしょ。ほらね、お友達が増えた。ほらね、お友達。うりゅー。
Relieved that her gift had been appreciated, Rosa remembered that she'd been filled with several days of weariness.
ママ、本当にお疲れ様。シャワー浴びてくるといいよ。あったかいの浴びるときっと疲れが取れるよ。湯船にする？マリアが今日は入浴剤を選んであげるね。
ありがとう。でも、もう遅いからマリアは寝る支度をなさい。ママも疲れたからシャワーだけ浴びてすぐ寝るわ。明日も早いし。
わかった。はいママ、コート脱がしてあげる。
大丈夫だってば。ありがとう。マ
マのコート、お外の匂いがいっぱいする。あ、ごめん。何か落とした。拾うね。
When she took Rosa's coat, a receipt or a ticket stub or something fell out. It had been in Mama's pocket, so it was probably important. Maria hurriedly picked it up. It looked like a ticket from a green car or the Shinkansen or something. A Tommy? Wasn't that a place famous for its hot springs? Oh. At that moment, with razor-sharp sound, the warm atmosphere shattered. Instead of the Rosa who had been there just a second ago, enjoying the gift with her daughter and recovering from her weariness with a long-awaited return home, there stood a person who looked exactly the same, but who had a completely different, terrifying expression on her face. In her hand was a ticket stub that Maria picked up. She had stolen it from Maria's hand in an instant. Just a few seconds too late, by the pain of her hand that had been hit and her mother's expression, Maria realized that she must have done something wrong. But she didn't know what she had done that had gotten her in trouble. It was probably because of that ticket stub thing. Was she not supposed to touch it? Even though she had tried so hard to welcome Mama with fun and happiness, she had touched something important to Mama without asking and ruined that pleasant atmosphere. So Maria apologized immediately.
ごめんなさい。
Even though she must have heard those words of apology, Rosa's expression actually darkened. Maybe those weren't the words that she had been hoping for. Maria didn't know what to do and stared at her mother's reaction. Then, even though it shouldn't have been such an important ticket stub, Rosa crushed it and hurried off into her room. Maria didn't really understand what she had done wrong.
おー、マリア、きっと余計なことをしたんだね。
Yeah, that's not a good look, because it seems like her mom was hanging out with some
あの
dude.
紙はきっとママのお仕事の大切なものだったんだね。それに勝手に触っちゃったから。ブリュー、マリアは悪くないよ。だから今夜だってこんなにも幸せ。うん、幸せ。ママだってお風呂に入ってすっきりしたらいつもの優しいママに戻ってくれるよ。だから気にしちゃダメ。ブリュー。
I still feel like she's like possessed or something.
ママだって疲れてるんだもんね。うん、気にしちゃダメだね。今夜だってマリアたちはこんなにも幸せ。ブリュー。
もうやめてよ。
Yeah, if her mom was just out gallivanting and this wasn't for work, and is just leaving a 10-year-old by herself for days, that is
見てられ
pretty
ない。
bad. At least get a babysitter, like, what?
エンジェは幸せの見つけ方が間違ってると思うよ。
間違ってるのはお姉ちゃんでしょ。これのどこが幸せだってのよ。もう痛々しくて見てられない。
Yeah, it is pretty sad, in my opinion.
何が？ママが急に怒り出したこと？人間、疲れていればそういうこともあるものだよ。一時の感情のすれ違いだけで相手を全否定するのってエンジは大人じゃないと思うよ。
Technically what Maria's saying is right, but at the same time I still don't agree with it, and it also is pretty suspicious that she had that from
9歳のマリアお姉ちゃんに言われるとはね。でもそんなことじゃないでしょ。問題なお姉ちゃんが拾ったあの半券、明らかにおかしいじゃない。
何が？何もおかしくないし、今夜の幸せと何も関係ないよ。
ローザおばさんは仕事で会社に泊まり込むって電話してきたんでしょ。なんで熱海？それって旅行でしょ。マリアお姉ちゃんを置き去りにして旅行に行ってたってことでしょ。
We don't know the whole story.
しかも普通旅行って言ったら一人では。
あれが仮に熱海行きの件だったとしても、だからってママが嘘をついて旅行に行った証拠にはならないよ。
電話で嘘をついてあんなにも形相を変えて奪い取って何よりの証拠じゃない。
昔の仕事で出張した時のものかもしれないよ。
Yeah, that's true. You don't know when exactly it's from.
あるいはゴミか何かをたまたまポケットに入れちゃっただけかも。部下の人が出張した時の領収書かもしれないね。
It's
だったら
likely that
仕
none
事
of
の
those are
大切
true,
なも
though.
の。 おもちゃじゃないんだから、ママが取り上げたのも頷けるよ。エンジェの言う証拠なんて、単なる状況証拠。想像と妄想。
It could be something that she needs to get reimbursed for from before.
ど
There
うして
are
マリアとママの
options,
仲
but
が悪くなるように解釈するのか、
her
わからな
reaction
いよ。
was no bueno.
どうしてお姉ちゃんがそこまでローザおばさんの都合がいいように解釈できるかの方がわからない。
やっぱり、エンジェはかわいそうな子。君を幸せにしてくれるかけらは、こんなにもたくさん身の回りに落ちているのに、それを見つけられ、なのに、不幸せなかけらばかり見つけてしまって、傷つき続けている。
That is
だからエンジェは、
a lot of people
傷
do
つくこ
that.
とに怯え、傷つけるものが身の回りにないかどうか、それを確かめ終わるまで、幸せ探しすら始められない。
I mean, that's what I do when I'm playing this game because people usually die as soon as things are nice. But yeah, a lot of people just always. I would say Ange's point of the way she looks at things is so much more common than Maria's. And the world would be a better
お姉
place
ちゃん
if
と
it,
話をして
people
ると
looked at things
お
the
か
way
しいのが
Maria
どっ
did.
ちかわからなくなってくるわ。
あのね、幸せのかけらも、不幸せのかけらも、どちらもいっぱいあって世界を満たしてるの。だから、身近の幸せが見つけられない人は、どこまで探しに行っても見つけられない。チルチルとミチルが、青い鳥を探したみたいに。
そうね。そういう教訓の話だった。
エンジェはその正反対。不幸せなかけらが全くない世界を探してる。でもそれだって青い鳥と同じなんだよ。だから永遠にエンジェは自分の幸せを見つけられない。
Yeah, that is impossible.
バトラはヘンゼルなの？青い鳥なんじゃないの？
もういい加減にして。いずれにせよ、幸せな夜がコートから落ちた一枚の紙切れで台無しになったことはよくわかったわ。
I disagree.
怖いね。一枚の紙切れで。なら、幸せを取り戻す力も、一枚の紙切れに宿れるかもしれないよね。
Probably not, though. Just when she'd been able to communicate with Maria after so long, Rosa's face twisted with a mixture of anger, sadness, and a fierce self-hatred as she flew into her room with a closed door. Maria's sorry had sliced into her chest sharper than a knife. At that time, she noticed a cute envelope placed under her study table. It was probably something that had come with a girl's magazine. To Mama, let me share my happiness with you, it said. She took it and after hesitating opened it and read what was inside. Then, after letting two large tears drip down on the paper, she flew out of the room, hugged Maria from behind, and headed for the bathroom. Buried her face in her daughter's back and cried. Then realized that she was the one who should be apologizing, yes? She apologized. Why is Mama apologizing? There was no answer to that question.
ほら、もう仲直り。あんなの、ママとマリアの仲良しの前には、全然気にすることないんだよ。
私には、マリアお姉ちゃんの幸せは、辛すぎ
Her
る。
mom made a mistake, and we cannot crucify her mom for
エンジェの気持ちも、一応は理解するよ。マリア
compared
だ
to
って、
what her mom did when
こ
she
の
was
力
mad
に気
before.
づ
This
く
is
まで
pretty
は、
mild.
今のエンジェと同じで、不幸なかけらしか見つけられない、気の毒な子だったから。
その力って何？私になくて、お姉ちゃんにはある。 そして、それがないから私は不幸で、お姉ちゃんは幸福だというの？力という抽象的な表現でしか理解できないそれは、一体どんな力なの？
Positivity?
うん。エンジェはそれが知りたいんだよね。だから、私の物語をここまでもちろんだよ。教えてあげる。この力の秘密を。そして私は昔、幼いエンジェにちゃんと教えてあげたんだよ。忘れちゃってる？大丈夫。思い出せるよ。今から私が、彼女が、教えてあげる。
彼女？って誰？
わらわがそれを
What?
マリアに代わって教えよう。
ベアトリーチェ。
マリアにはあって、そなたにはない力。
マリアにあって、エンジェにない力。
It's magic. Maria and Beto said it together, and they started giggling because they said it at the same time. It was an innocent reaction, one that didn't seem like Beto at all. Black tea was arranged on the table in a peaceful garden, and Beto, Maria, and Sakutaro, who were sitting on Maria's lap, were having fun chatting.
ほう、そうか。作太郎と申すか。そなたの一番の友人とな。
ウリュウ。はじめまして、サク太郎と申します。サク太郎は人見知りするから緊張してるの。大丈夫だよ。ベアトリーチェもマリアの素敵なお友達なんだよ。ウリュウ、マリアの友達は僕も友達？ウリュウ。じゃあ、僕もベアトリーチェの友達？ウリュウ。
マリアにとっては、このようなことは日常においてよくあることなのか。
何が？
このように無機物に魔法の魂を込め生を宿らせることはそなたの日常においては左半時なのか。
ウリュウ。
ぬいぐるみはよりしろとして優秀だ。ゆえに毒を持たぬ無垢な子供が話しかけることによってそれに応えようとする精霊が宿ることが少なくない。
According to Beatrice, every time a child plays with dolls, dolls actually gain a will and converse with them, and sometimes even moving by their own will. However, because of their innocence, the power imbued into such a vessel is very weak. If they get struck with even a tiny bit of toxin from a human's common sense, which says that there's no way a doll can talk or move, they instantly revert to being non-speaking dolls.
しかし、そなたのその作太郎というぬいぐるみは違う。
サク太郎はぬいぐるみだけど、ぬいぐるみじゃない。ウリュウ、ライオンの子。ウリュウ。サク太郎は
So cute.
ライオンの子だけど、まだ子供だから、時々ガオーって言えないの。ウリウリウリュウ。ウリウリウリュウ。
Gazing at Maria, who was playing around with Sakutaro by the table, loaded with tea, Beatrice let out a sigh of admiration.
なんということか。作太郎とやらは、その布地と綿のよりしろを核に、完全に人間界に権限している。自らの人格を持ち、召喚者と自在に対話をし、しかも自らの意志で動いている。しかもさらに驚くべきは、それが異界の人物を名指しして呼び寄せたものではなく、マリアがゼロの海から生み出したものという点だ。
After that, Maria boasted to Beito that Sakutaro wasn't her only friend, and that she had many more of them back at home. It seemed there were other similar stuffed animals and dolls who could talk and move on their own will like Sakutaro. It was something natural for Maria. It was natural for stuffed animals to talk, move, and become her friend of their own will. When she saw that Maria had accepted this as something natural as a witch, Beatrice felt a respect bordering on awe.
マリア、そなたのその力は紛れもなく魔法である。
魔法なの？マリアはまだ魔女見習いだから魔法なんて使えないよ。
いいや、魔法だ。それを自覚して使えぬから未だ見習いなのであろうが、それにしても大した魔力。そなたの友人作太郎の権限こそがその立派な証であるぞ。
That is pretty impressive.
権限って？
うん。そなたの場合は想像と呼んでもよいであろうな。他人の手にあっては何の魂も持たぬ無機物がそなたの魔法によって魂を吹き込まれている。しかもそれを強力な力で人間界に留めている。これほどまでに魔法を否定する毒気に満たされた現代において、一個の生命体足り得るほどに権限できる魔力はわらわとて容易なことではないわ。
ベアトが言うのがよくわかんない。作太郎がすごいってこと？
作太郎とそなたが共誇ってよい。なるほど。金蔵の最も欲したものはそなたに一番濃く宿っている。
なんでベアトにそんなに褒められるのかさっぱり。
It's so interesting seeing some people's like different like magical kind of specialty or different types of magic in this. And like all of it is based on believing,
ぬい
really.
ぐるみに魂を宿したことだけではないのだ。それにより自己の世界観まで変化させた。そなたは無より有を生じる力が群を抜いている。1を100にすることはたやすい。しかし0から1を生じることはたやすくはない。
Interesting.
そなたが一人前の魔女になったなら、わらわと双璧どころか、わらわとて一目置かざるを得ない大魔女に成長するであろう。
Interesting. The one and from zero thing.
原初の魔女か。
Okay. I think this is going to be super
そ
important.
なたの将来がわらわにとっても楽しみだ。
ベアトに魔女の才能あるって褒められた。
What if Sakutaro was the one killing
よかったね
everyone?
マリア。
He's not a human.
ウリア、ベアト、マリアを褒めてくれてありがとう。
礼には及ばぬぞ、作太郎。その赤いマフラーは実に似合っているぞ。そしてそなたのような友人を生み出せるそなたの主人の才能に嫉妬する。
マフラー褒めてくれてありがとう。
Is that just a
これ
scarf?
マリアにプレゼントしてもらったの。僕のお気に入り。
まさにそなた専用のマフラーになるために生まれてきたようなサイズであるな。これはわらわも新しき友人に何かプレゼントを贈らねばなるまい。
ほう、ベアトが作太郎にプレゼント？
魔女の贈り物は魔力あるものと決まっておる。ならばそなたの友人がいつまでもそなたの友人でいられるよう、そして作太郎にわらわの魔力を贈ろう。それにより さらに強く権限することができるだろう。
サクタロと
Okay, I think
もっともっと楽しく遊べるようになるの？どうやって？
This is gonna be super important, I think.
おりゅ？なんだろう、マリア。それって怖いこと？大丈夫だよ。ベアとは怖いことなんて何もしないよ。ね、ベアトリーチ
ェ。必ず気に入ってもらえるはずだ。さて、より強く権限するにはより強いイメージが必要であるな。さてさて、どうしたものか。
Beto crossed her arms and thought about what she could do to please them even more. Then, right there, was the form of yet another witch. It was Beto's teacher, Virgilia. Virgilia truly was a great witch. Since Maria had already thought of Beto as a great witch, this person Beto called the Great Witch must have been a great witch. According to Beto, she still didn't even rise up to this witch's feet when it came to magical power.
おやおや、賑やかな声が聞こえてくると思ったら、楽しそうなお茶会ですこと。おお、お師匠様、ちょうどいいところへ。このライオンの子を見てほしい。マリアの新しい友人だそうだ。かわいらしいライオンさんですね。ご挨拶はできるのかしら。はじめまして、こんにちは。
ウリュウ、サクタロウと申します。
Sakutaro fell into Maria's lap, greeting Virgilia with half of his face poking out over the edge of the table. It seemed he was very nervous since this witch was one that Beto even called a teacher.
かわいらしい名前だこと。上手な挨拶ができたご褒美にお菓子をあげましょうね。
After waving her hands about, Virgilia held out the palm of her hand upwards as though she were lightly grabbing at empty air. Then she held out her fist in front of Sakutaro. When she opened her fist, it was one of those individually wrapped cough drops.
飴だよ、マリア。すごいすごい。よかったね、サクタロウ。ちゃんとお礼を言ってね。ウリュウ、飴をどうもありがとうございます。ペコリ。
Even though Virgilia was a great witch, she still treated a stuffed animal like Sakutaro with an elegant greeting.
しかしお師匠様、のど飴とはまたババ臭い。せめていちごミルクのキャンディーとか出ないのかよ。
I'm with Beatrice on that one.
これはひどい。もうあなたには飴をあげませんよ。悪い悪い。さて、マリア、そなたの魔導書を出すのよ。もちろん筆記用具もな。
出すよ。何か書くの？
おや、何を始めるのですか？お師匠様に習った魔法を使うのだ。よりしろに異界の住人を権限させる魔法。あれの応用でこのマリアの友人を権限させる力をより強めることができるのではないかと思ってな。それをマリアとマリアの友人への贈り物としたい。なるほど。すでに権限している存在ならそう難しいことではないでしょう。それは素敵な贈り物になりそうですね。では私もささやかですが協力しましょう。お師匠様が立ち会い人にサインしてくれる魔法なら心強い。喜べマリア、これは素晴らしい贈り物になるぞ。
ウリュウ、何が始まるの？怖く くない？怖くない？わかんない。でも怖くないと思う。なんだろうね、楽しみだね。
Beito borrowed the grimoire from Maria's handbag and majestically flipped through the pages. Then she found an empty page among those with magic circles drawn on them and flattened it out. After gazing at Sakutaro with a grin, she suddenly started moving her pen. It was something like a written declaration made by witches to a high-order world. It was magic whose effect could be controlled if Beatrice wrote and Virgilia signed. Maria didn't understand what Beito was writing at first, but partway through she figured out the whole wonderful magic power of this document, and her eyes began to sparkle.
うりゅう？どうしたのマリオ？何を書いているの？うりゅ？
Sakutaro was on her lap, and he didn't know what was being written on the table. But even if he had seen, Sakutaro probably wouldn't have understood.
すごいよ、サクタロー。待ってて、もうすぐだよ、もうすぐだよ。ベアトすごい。
力ある書面の筆記においてこの子の才能は素晴らしい。あなたになら魔界の書記官すら務まりそうですよ。これでどうか。まずまずであろう。
After finishing her writing with an intense amount of concentration, Beito looked over at the document again from a distance. It seems she was fairly satisfied with her work, and Maria, who was also peeking at it, let out a cry of wonder.
すごいよ、ベアト。かわいい。
黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェの名においてマリアの子サクタローをここに認める。お師匠様、立会人にサインを頼むぜ。はいはい。我が名においてこの宣誓に立ち会い認めるものなりできましたよ。
Virgilia signed, completing the written declaration. It was a document with the power to proclaim to the beings of a higher world that Sakutaro had most certainly materialized in the human world. Sakutaro, who was born from Maria, was nominated by the two witches, Beatrice and Virgilia, and just now his existence had been acknowledged by the higher world. That itself was the great magic of materialization. According to Beito, it was apparently quite fortunate that Virgilia was there. After all, depending on the number and quality of witches that signed proclamations to the higher world, the power that resided in them could change drastically. Virgilia in particular had many friends in that higher plane, so her signature gave the proclamation a power with which Beito couldn't even compare.
この宣言書により、汝サクタローを自がある一個人と認める。そしてその存在をマリアージュ・ソルシエールの条約に従い、友人として迎える。今よりサクタローは我ら共通の友人だ。それにふさわしき姿を贈り物としてそなたに贈ろう。
Alright, let's see if we've seen him.
受け取るがよい。
With the grimoire still open to the page with the proclamation, she turned around and handed it to Maria. Maria showed it to Sakutaro on her lap. When Sakutaro beheld that proclamation, he felt something hot and bright begin to dwell in his body made of cloth and cotton. Even as he looked around, nervous at the sensation he never felt before, that power strengthened, and eventually a bright light completely swallowed him up.
うりゅ？
What in the hell? Oh. That's so cute. And when that light disappeared, there Maria's friend Sakutaro held a new form and existed.
かわいいよ、サクタロー。すっごいかわいいよ。うりゅう？ほんと 当に似合ってる？恥ずかしくない？
Alright, this is pretty major. I'm gonna stop here and save. So, yeah, this is very interesting, and I feel like it's gonna change a lot of this game. Furniture. A Witch of Mirage Sorcery. Okay. White Heart itself, you might even say he's second Lady Maria and irreplaceable to her. He holds decoration as a diplomat, and none may attack him. Not any of the witches, weapons, and furniture in the Alliance, nor any of the demons and divine spirits in contract with the Alliance. Interesting. That is quite significant, and he could be, yeah, super important. So, alright, I'm saving here. I'm going to stop for now. What an interesting episode. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the episode in the comments below.